Wildcats. Today we're looking at journal page 34, solve systems of linear and quadratic equations. Okay, now we're going to start with some review questions and then we'll go into examples. Okay, so first we're going to graph each line. So let's let A be yellow, B be green, and C be blue. So I'm using 3 color markers here for the lines. They don't have to be these kind of markers, but they can be crayons, color pencils, something like that. But I would recommend using these 3 colors. Okay. All right, so to graph A, let's divide this by 1, which means our slope is m equals negative 3 divided by 1, and our b value is 1. So the 1 is our y-intercept, so we're going to start at 1, so 0, 1. And then from this point, we go down 1, 2, 3 to the right 1, down 1, 2, 3 to the right 1, down 1, 2, 3 to the right 1. Now, it's important to note that negative 3 divided by 1 is equivalent to 3 divided by negative 1. So knowing that, we can now go up 1, 2, 3 to the left 1, up 1, 2, 3 to the left 1, up 1, 2, 3 to the left 1. Okay? And this line will be in yellow. Okay? All right, now, the second line is very simple. Y equals 4 is a horizontal line at 4. So we go up 1, 2, 3, 4. So it'll be a horizontal line at 4. Let's double check the count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, the third equation is in standard form, which is ax plus by equals c. Okay. Now, knowing that, we can graph sorry, let's adjust the lines a little bit. All right. We know that the x-intercept is x equals c divided by a. So c is negative 6 divided by a, which is 2. So negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. So your x-intercept is negative 3, comma 0. Okay? So we have a dot at negative 1 to negative 3. Okay? Now y, the y-intercept, is equal to c divided by b. Okay? Well, c is negative 6, b is negative 3, so that equals a positive 2. So your y-intercept is 0, comma 2. Okay? So 0, 2, 1, 2. Okay? Now we need to find the slope, and we can find that using the 2 points. So if we go up 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2, 3. So the slope is 2/3. So from here we go up 2 to the right, 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2, 3. Up 1, 2 to the right, 1, 2, 3. But remember, 2/3 is equivalent to negative 2 divided by negative 3. So we go down to the left, 1, 2, 3. Down 1, 2 to the left, 1, 2, 3. And then this is going to be a blue line. Okay. All right. Now, we're not worried about a solution, so we're not worried about where they intersect. We're just practicing graphing the 3 types of lines: slope-intercept form, a horizontal line, and standard form. Okay? And let me move the camera up a little bit. There we go. All right, let's take a look at review 2. Graph each quadratic. Okay, so we reviewed graphing linear equations. Now let's review graphing quadratic equations. Okay. Now, y equals x squared is the parent function. So these will be actual points. Okay, so x, y. So let's use when x is -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so -2 squared is 4. -1 squared is 1. 0 squared is 0. 1 squared is 1. And 2 squared is 4. So these are actual points. So -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, -2, 4. -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 4. Okay. Now we can actually, it's not on the table, we can actually add one more point. -3 squared is 9, and +3 squared is 9. Okay. So again, let's do this in colors. So let's make this in yellow. Okay. And let's make B in green and C in blue. Okay. Now, we're going to graph by direction. So the first thing we need to do is move the vertex. So this means we go right 4, up 5. Okay. So we're going to go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. That's our new vertex. Now we know our directions are -2, 4, -1, 1. HK, that's a new vertex. 1, 1. And 2, 4. Okay. Now, but this negative means we need to multiply the y direction by -1. So we need to multiply each of these by -1. Now, these are not points, these are directions. So we're going to use these when it's based on the vertex. So from the vertex, we go left 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4. Left 1, down 1. Right 1, down 1. Right 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4. And we know from coming up here that we could go left 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then to the right 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, now let's graph C. So again, our directions are, and I'm only going to use, I'm actually going to use -4, -2, H, K, 2, 4, and 4. Now, we know -4 squared is 16, -2 squared is 4, 4 squared is 16. And the reason I'm using these values for our directions is because we're going to divide by 4. So we're going to divide everything by 4. So 16 divided by 4 is 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay? Now, let's go back and let's move our vertex. So the +1 means we go left 1, and then we go down 6. So left 1, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? Now from here we go left 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, 4. We go left 2, up 1. And then we go right 2, up 1. And then right 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2, 3, 4. so now we reviewed graphing linear equations. Now we reviewed graphing quadratic equations. Now let's look at review 3. All right, review 3, factor, okay? Now, when you see the cube, you think factor is sum and difference of cubes, okay? Now, I see the plus, so we know the formula will be A plus B, parentheses, A squared minus AB plus B squared, okay? Now, at this point, we need to figure out what A and B are, okay? So A, you think about what cube gives you 8x cubed, the answer to that is 2x. And then we ask ourselves, what did we cube to give you 125? The answer to that is 5. 5 cubed is 125. Okay. Now, once you have A and B and you know the sum factor formula for cubed, we plug these numbers in. So that's, let's add some lines here to help keep the work organized. Okay, so that's 2x plus 5, parentheses, 2x squared minus 2x times 5 plus 5 squared. Okay, so then that's 2x plus 5, parentheses, 2x squared is 4x squared. Negative 2x times 5 is negative 10x, plus 5 squared is 25. And you're done. That is factored using sum and difference of cubes. All right, review 4. Now let's review factoring a polynomial. So when you do that, you use reverse box method. So first term, last term. Now you have to ask yourself, well, what do you multiply to give you 2x squared? Well, the answer to that is 2x and 1x. Okay. Now you have to think about, well, what combinations multiply to give you negative 3? Well, we know 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. And 2 doesn't work. And then 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. Now, this one is a little bit more work in that we have to figure out, we multiply 2 by the first number and 1 by the second number and combine to see if we can get 5x. Okay, so let's do that. So 2 times 1 plus 1 times negative 3. Well, that's 2 minus 3 is negative 1. That doesn't work. Okay, now 2 times 3 plus 1 times negative 1. Well, that's 6 minus 1 is 5. This works. So we're multiplying the 2 times the 3, so the plus 3 goes here. And we're multiplying the 1 by the negative 1, so the negative 1 goes here. Let's check to make sure that works. 2 times 3 is 6x. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1x. 6x minus 1x is 5x. So the factored form of 2x squared plus 5x minus 3 is 1x plus 3 times 2x minus 1. Now, it appears I've run out of pencils, so if you would finish up review 4 while you're doing that, I'm going to go to the store and buy some new pencils. Okay, sorry about that wait, but I've now returned from the store with, by the way, if you're going to get a pencil, I recommend buying America's Pencil USA Gold. They are the best pencil in the world. Okay, all right, now let's review 5 factoring with grouping. And we know it's grouping because there's 4 terms. When there's 4 terms, we want to factor by grouping, okay? And let's add some lines to keep our work organized. That should be enough lines, but if we need more, we can add them, okay? Okay, so we think about what can we factor from the first 2 terms? Well, we can factor out a 5 and an x squared. So 5x squared, which leaves x minus 1. Now I think about what can we factor from here? It looks like we can factor out a negative 45. So negative 45, which leaves x minus 1. Because negative 45 times x is negative 45x, and negative 45 times negative 1 is positive 45. Now, if these are the same, then you can factor by grouping. So then we group them together, 5x squared minus 45 times x minus 1. Okay, so it appears we're going to need a few more lines for work. So let's go ahead and add that. Hopefully your lines are a little straighter than mine. All right, here it looks like we can divide 5 from both of these terms. So that's 5. 5 times 5 is 1, so it's 1x squared minus 45 times 5, or 9 is 45. And there's nothing we can do with x minus 1. But we can go a little further because this is a difference of squares. So that factors as 5 times x minus 3 times x plus 3 times x minus 1. We know that because x times x is x squared, x times 3 is 3x, negative 3 times x is negative 3x, those cancel. Negative 3 times positive 3 is a negative 9. So now it is factored using difference of squares, or different factor by grouping. And then here, difference of squares. All right, review 6. Factor x squared plus 5x minus 24. Okay, now we need to add a box because we want to factor by the different, or using a reverse box method. All right, so we know first term, last term. Now, this one's actually easier than review 4 because there's no number in front of x squared. So here we know it's x and x make x squared. Now we need to find all the combinations that multiply to give you negative 24. Well, we know 1 times negative 24 is negative 24. 2 times negative 12 is negative 24. 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. 4 times 6, 4 times negative 6 is negative 24. 5 doesn't work. 6 times negative 4 is negative 24. Now, when the combination repeats itself, then you know you've gone through all the combinations. So now let's combine to find 5x. So 1 minus 24 is negative 23. That doesn't work. 2 minus 12 is negative 10. That doesn't work, but we're getting closer to a positive 5, it looks like, maybe. 3 minus 8 is negative 5. Now, wait a second. We have the 5, but it's the wrong sign, so all we have to do is switch the sign here. So let's make this negative 3 plus 8, which is positive 5. So our combination is x minus 3 and x plus 8. Okay? So then x times negative 3 is negative 3x. 8 times x is 8x. 8x minus 3x is 5x. This works, so the factors are x minus 3 times x plus 8. Okay? Now, at this point in the video, you might want to pause it, take a break, because we're going to turn the page and now get into the examples. Okay? All right? Now let's look at the examples. Okay, example 1. Solve the system equations using substitution. So we know we have y equals x plus 2 and y equals x squared. Okay? Now, if you'll notice, they're both equal to y, so we can set them equal to each other. So x squared is equal to 1x plus 2. Okay. Now, what we need to do is, I'm going to move this over just a little bit, is we need to subtract 1x from both sides and subtract 2 from both sides. And the reason being, now that cancels, you're left with x squared minus 1x minus 2 equals 0. Now at this point, you want to factor that. Now you don't actually have to do the box to factor. You can go straight to the parentheses. And then x. Now we need to find all the combinations make -2 but combined to be -1. Okay, so let's do that. So we know 1 times -2 is -2. 1 minus 2 is -1. Well, they multiply, give you -2, combined to be -1. So our factors are x plus 1 and x minus 2. That's equal to 0. Okay. At this point, you set them equal to 0. So x plus 1 equal to 0 and x minus 2 equal to 0. So x equals -1 and x equals 2. Now we're not done because we're solving a system, and systems have x and y solutions. So we need to substitute each of these into either equation. I'm just going to go and plug it into this equation to find the y value. So when x is -1, y equals negative, and you have to put that in parentheses. Whenever you square a negative number, it has to be in parentheses. -1 squared is 1. Okay, so let's add some lines here again. Keep our work organized. Okay, so then our solution is -1 comma 1. That's one of them. Okay, now let's substitute x equals 2 in. So x equals 2. So y equals 2 squared. When you're squaring a positive number, you don't have to put it in parentheses, is 4. Again, let's add some lines to keep our work organized. So your solution is 2 comma 4. So you have two solutions, -1, 1, and 2, 4. Okay. Now let's solve that same system, but let's do it graphically. Okay. And so let's graph this in yellow. And let's graph this in green. Okay. Now to graph y equals x plus 2, let's come up here. Let's add some space to this problem. Okay. So that's y equals 1x divided by 1 plus 2. Okay. So we know our slope is 1 divided by 1, and our y-intercept is 0, comma 2. Okay. So we have a point 0, 2. Okay. And then we know we go up 1 to the right 1, 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 up 1 to the right 1. But we know we can go down 1 to the left 1, 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 down 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 to the left 1. Okay? And this is going to be in yellow. Okay? All right, now to graph x squared, we know is the parent function. Okay, so by now you should know the point for the parent function. Now these are points, not direction. X, Y is -2, 4, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. And let me try to write that again so it's a little clearer. Little space, but we can make room. -2, 4, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. And you know the other point is 2, 4. Okay? So our points are -2, up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? -1, 1. Oh, look, there's one of our solutions because they intersect. 0, 0, 1, 1, and 2, 4. So 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, look, there's our other solution because they intersect. We also know the point is -3, 9, and +3, 9. So our two solutions are -1, 1, and 2, 4, because that's where the two equations intersect. All right, so go ahead and finish up example 2. All right, example 3. Solve the system equations using substitution. Now, like example 1, you can see that since they're both equal to y, we can set them equal to each other. So we have x squared minus 2 equals -2. And then let's solve. So we're going to add 2 to both sides, so you get x squared equals 0. Okay, take the square root of both sides. Square root of 0, this unsquares a square, so then x equals the square root of 0 is 0. Okay. Now, I'm going to substitute 0 into the second equation because that has an x to solve for y. So that's y equals 0 squared minus 2, which equals y equals -2. So your solution is 0, comma, -2. Okay. Now, let's solve that same system graphing. Okay. So let's make the first line yellow and the second line green. Okay. So the first one's easy. We just have a horizontal line at -2. Okay. Now, this line we're going to graph by direction. Now, we know the directions for the quadratic are -2, 4, -1, 1, HK. Let's go ahead and find the vertex. So this tells us vertex goes down to 0, -2. Oh, look, there's our intersection. So we know that's our solution, 0, -2. Well, let's finish graphing. So then 1, 1, and 2, 4. So we go from the vertex, left 2 up 1, 2, 3, 4. Left 1 up 1, right 1 up 1, right 2 up 4. And we also know that we can go left 3 up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and right 3 up 9. Okay. You can see here that they both intersect at the point 0, -2. Okay. Whoa, that got bright. All right. Now let's look at example 5. Okay. Now solve the system equation using substitution if you can. Okay. Now here again we see that since they're both equal to y, they're equal to each other. So we have negative parentheses x minus 4 squared plus 2 equals -6 divided by 5 x plus 9. Okay. Now, this is probably going to take a little bit of work, so let's go ahead and add some lines to try to keep our work organized. we'll add some more lines as we go. So here, let's multiply to get rid of the fraction. Let's multiply everything by 5. Okay. So that's 5 times the negative, so it's negative 5. Parentheses, x minus 4 squared is x minus 4 times x minus 4 plus 2 equals, now 5 times negative 6 is negative 30, but divided by 5 is negative 6. X plus 5 times 9 is 45. Okay, so then this is negative 5 times x is x squared times negative 4 is negative 4x. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 4 is a positive 16. And then plus 2 equals negative 6x plus 45. Now we need to multiply everything by negative 5, so that's negative 5 x squared plus 20x minus, I'm going to grab a calculator just to make sure I multiply that correctly. Negative 5 times 16 is negative 80. Plus 2 equals negative 6x plus 45. Okay. Now we're going to add 6x to both sides. Notice I'm adding it to the x's, and I'm going to subtract 45 from both sides. So then I have negative 5x squared, and then 20 plus 6 is 46x, and then negative 80 plus 2 minus 45 is negative 123 equals 0. Okay, now in essence of time, I'm just going to let you know that this is not factorable. Okay, now if it's not factorable, you can go back to, and that's why I've taught you on the left side of this example is how to do it algebraically, but on the right side to graph it. So if you can't solve it algebraically, you can always graph it to find the solution. So let's do that. Okay, now let's graph these in different colors. So let's do this in yellow and this in green. Okay, now this first line is easy. Okay, we start at 9, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then from here we go down 6 to the right 5. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's double check that. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. Now here, we need to move the vertex first. So that's to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, up 1, 2. Let's graph by direction. So we know that negative 2, 4, negative 1, 1, HK, 1, 1, 2, 4. But here we have to multiply by negative 1. So that's negative 4, negative 1, negative 1, negative 4. So from here we go left 2 down 1, 2, 3, 4. Left 1 down 1, right 1 down 1, right 2 down 1, 2, 3, 4. And we know we can go left 3 down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And left 1, 2, 3 down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now you can see here the reason why it wasn't factorable because they don't intersect. And when they don't intersect, it's no solution. Okay? So with that, if you would, go ahead and finish up your examples and start working on the assignment and have a wonderful Wildcat.